Alright, hello guys, Planar here. Today I'm gonna try to show you a little bit showcase of how to do the UberElder with the Stormbrand Archmage build. It's gonna be hopefully a deathless video, but we'll see how it goes. And I will also explain it a little bit like how things go, but due to high DPS that we have, the phases go pretty quick. The only thing that we're gonna wait for the Uber and the Shaper and the Elder is actually their phase transitions. So it's gonna be a little bit running around basically. So as you know, both Uber and Elder have their own phases, and what we do here is we basically just DPS one of them, and the other one becomes like undamageable like this. So and you have to kill the other one. Yeah, and that was almost a death. And it's pretty easy with our build anyway. We just put our brands in and get to the rest. Of course, there'll be some close calls, maybe a death or two, but it should be fine. Now that the Shaper had its turn, now we can DPS the Elder, and it has become on the phase transition as well. And yeah, at this point we have to wait for Shaper to finish his mirror phase thingy so that we can start DPSing on Elder again. So you basically have to keep running around a little bit to avoid the Uber's ice storm thingies. Also, you need to watch out for the Shaper's beam of death as well. And that's basically it. If you can keep them close together as much as possible, it will be easy for you to kite the things around and DPS them at the same time. But you know, as fast as possible. It's not really that kind of hard to fight, but yeah, sometimes you get sloppy and you can die. Those beams, though, the Shapers, no, the little orbs that Shaper throws, they can like 1 or 2 shot you, so you can only like maybe take one of them as a hit, and then it will kill you. So yeah, you have to watch out for that as well. And yeah, I think that's it. That's the whole fight, guys. See, it wasn't too hard. I have a little bit like pretty good DPS for a Stormbrand. It should be like 11 million, 12 million or something. You can find me on Ninja as well. If you look for plain art, you can copy my build. I will try to drop down off the paste bin or a path of building link for my build, so you can copy it if you want. I've crafted this one for myself, which is a pretty good item for our build, but you don't actually need like the +1 spell skill games, but it's pretty good for the Stormbrand and some other spell games like Curses and yeah, some other stuff. You'll check it out. I'm just gonna quickly show the items. This is what I have as a wand. It's like should be 20 to 25 results if you want to buy something like this. You don't need to. I started with a pretty relatively cheap item. It had like crits. It didn't even have crit multiplier. It just had critical chance. It had spell damage as like an implicity, and then you did this non-chaos damage as extra damage with spell damage crafted on it. The other stuff it had maybe was lightning damage and maximum mana, of course. You can buy something like that for like tops and Exile, and it will be like a good one to begin with your build. So don't worry about it. There are like 2 mandatory items. If you have seen the build already, I will make a guide for it later on. But the mandatory items are basically the expensive ones are the Ivory Tower, which you can get for 6 to 7 exalts these days. It's an average price for a 6-link item. The other one is the Skyforth. To my knowledge, you can get this item only by chancing shaped-based sorcerer boots with level 86 or something. So yeah, it's an expensive item, and it gets expensive each day. It was like 13 exalts the other day. I don't know how much is it today, but yeah, it gets expensive. So buy one yourself if you have the currency, because it's only gonna get higher, in my opinion. These are the 2 items that are expensive. The rest are relatively cheap. They were cheap at least. Voidbringer is a mandatory item because you also need like the more mana you spend, the more damage we do. This is our thing. And as you see, my Stormbrand Mana cost is like 6,000, and I have like this 9.5k mana. The other mandatory item for you to keep up your mana is because your regeneration is good, yeah, but it won't be enough. So you kind of need the Sinner's Follow or Silver Flask to keep up with your mapping and everything. Otherwise, you just have to wait on the bosses. But since you can only attach 2 brands on the bosses, yeah, it's fine. You just do your curse with Orb of Storms, and then you use Stormbrand, and then other Stormbrand, and the boss basically dies by this time, so it's fine. But on mapping, with Sinner's Swallow, you just have like non-stop orbs and everything, so it's and brands, it's just fine. The other item I use, and I found out to have better DPS, is Mark of the Shaper. Yeah, the volatile animal Exile is pretty sick. It just does extra area damage on the things that it chases and follows, like a homing missile stuff. It's pretty good. The obviously you need the max mana shield, the elemental damage, lightning damage to spells. Everything is great for you. Of course, the other Exile's item is like 90% increased spell damage. Sick. So yeah, but by getting this, you will have only two pieces of items to fill up your resistance, and that's gonna be your belt and your ring, and that will be it. And you're gonna start with like -10 fire resistance and like almost close to 0, maybe 10 lightning and cold resistance. So you have to fix up everything with your ring and with your belt, and these things are not cheap. So what I recommend you as a start is do not take the Mark of Shaper, just get some good resistance rings. It will be enough, guys. Like, even if you have you will have 1-2 million DPS easy. Seriously, you don't need to do anything else. It should be fine. It's gonna carry through to everything. It'll be fine. But this is the belt that I bought, actually. This was it was not a cheap one. I got this for like 10 Exalted or something. It has good resistance with extra catalysts on it, as you can see up there. The resistance modifiers is +20. You can do it. It's cheap, but the high base was, I think was it tier 1? It's a tier 2. Tier 2, and the cold is tier 1. Lightning is tier 2. As you see, yeah, it's pretty good. It has maximum mana on it, which is you need for our build, because we will get basically obviously more DPS on our Stormbrand. Strength is needed to actually you need some like this strength to put on the Ivory Tower, but the attribute foible we have, it reduces the items and gems have 25% reduced attribute requirements, as you see. So you will see at some point, like, yeah, I can wear this gem, Precision, I can level it up, I can wear it, but I don't have like the enough dexterity for it, you will think. But yeah, it's because of the attribute foible, so that's why. As an annoyed on attribute foible, I took the allocated mana flows. I will explain it in a build later on. And yeah, these rings are not cheap either. I got this for relatively cheap, for like 1 Exalted or something. It wasn't a snipe, but it wasn't like very mandatory, or I don't know if the guy didn't know what the price for it exactly. The similar ones for this were 2 Exalted at the time, but now they were around like 5 to 10 or something. So do not bother getting this Mark of the Shaper and the like another necessary ring to fill up your resistances. I even have like, yeah, it just barely makes it, you see, with the lightning. So you don't need that. Just get 2 normal rings and your belt and you're fine. And the obviously other mandatory item is Prison Guard. This is corrupted because I put the watch socket in it. Yeah, I was trying something else with the haste, because I bought myself like this Watcher's Eye jewel with the cooldown speed of movement skills used while affected by haste is increased by 31%. So I was using phase run with it and having like a permanent phase run with the haste, but then yeah, it didn't feel good. And flame dash is obviously much more better because you can teleport, and that's what you need. It didn't worth it. Yeah, also the Watcher's Eye is not mandatory at all. Yeah, as I said, I will explain it later again. My ES is not like 10k or higher. 8.5 is good enough. When I started build, it was like 6.2 or 3, guys, and that was still enough for many things, especially for bosses, for mapping, and for few delirium mods, and like 4 orbs even. Like, it was like 80% delirium. It's totally fine, so don't worry about it, okay? You don't need to get everything to start off your build. You don't need Watcher's Eye. You don't need to get like this high expensive items to get everything started. But yeah, you need Skyfort, otherwise you will get the stun threshold is based on 500% of your mana instead of life, which means, yeah, you will get stunned by a single shot. So if you don't have this, you need this one basically. And obviously Ivory Tower is really good for the chaos because it's taking from mana. And since you can like keep up your Sinner Swallow up, which will fill your mana all the time, you get almost basically no chaos damage, so you don't need any chaos resistance at all, which is another like good stuff for our build. Mind Spiral is also another necessary item. The end game item of this with an enchant of Stormbrand penetrates like 8%, 12% lightning damage on hit, which is insanely expensive. It was 50 exalts the other day, and I'm trying to save up for Headhunter, so I'm not wasting any money on that. Yeah, anyway, so this was a little bit showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys for another time. Peace out.